Hecate, she is so fascinating. Through my years of working with her, I'm just learning more and more and more about her. And I feel like this happens to us all who end up working with her. You come to understand her on levels that you never even thought you could. She has been revealing a lot to me recently about how interconnected the divine feminine is. But not just the divine feminine, the divine in general. And that's not to say it is in some sort of monotheistic way, but it is to say that they're all working together to help us. Whether you want to say they are all one or that they're just connected in some way, we can't deny that there is such connections, and that there is such connections for a reason. That reason being us, humans, all deities, whether it's from some ancient polytheist religion that we're reviving, or whether it's from a practice such as Buddhism or Shintoism, or even a closed familial or initiatory practice, there is commonality with all these spirits, though not all the spirits are for everyone, of course not, especially closed practices, but they still are here to help us as humans, and they still fulfill similar and, if not the same, roles. And so, with that being the case, Hecate has instructed me, to be honest, to start this series as well on the channel. Now, on the channel, I have a lot of different series, different sorts of videos that I speak about Hecate, I speak about other deities, but this in particular is focused on Hecate and other, for now, goddesses, but potentially gods as well, that are linked with her, and some that you may not even realise. So let's start with the first one, and you'll know from the title and thumbnail, the amazing Angrboda. Let's get into it. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. The channel is a witchy community and safe space, so you can ask questions, share opinions, we can agree to disagree, and nothing silly. One thing we don't tolerate is crap. So if you want to be here, hit subscribe. It's free. If you want to join, that's all you got to do. But yeah, bear that in mind. It is a safe space. And if you want to support me on the channel, I'd be so grateful if you could check out my links. They're in the description. I do offer readings. I've also got Patreon and memberships. On Patreon, I'm teaching a lot. We've got a series on Hecate for that. We have talked about tarot. I've taught magic. We're going through a path working as well. There's so much going on. I'd be so grateful if you could have a look. Thank you. Kickstarting off this series with Angrboda. Bit of background from me personally and my experience. In my practice, there was a time where I was really delving into my ancestry and ancestral deities. And some of my ancestral deities, well, they're Norse deities, because I do have Danish blood and Germanic blood. And so, yeah, I was exploring that. My matron goddess or ancestral female goddess is Frigga. I have worked with her. I've worked with Freya for a bit. I have had experiences with Odin. But my father, you could say, masculine energy, well, it's Loki. And Loki, he's a complex guy, very popular, thanks to Marvel. But he isn't just all fun and games, even though he can be, yes, but he's complex. There was a time, and I've spoke about it on the channel, where me and him fell out, and I know that sounds ridiculous, falling out with a deity. He pushed my boundaries quite a lot, and at the time, I couldn't deal with that. And I've heard of that happening. That's the way he is. But since then, I'm talking last year, I made up with him. And when I made up with him, I realised more about him. Some people say he is a mask of Lucifer, and that's a complex thing that I am exploring for myself personally right now. I do see why that is the case, because in the Norse pantheon, he is the adversary. And we don't really have much evidence of him being worshipped, kind of thing, because he is the trickster. He is the one that will cause Ragnarok. But what we know of the Norse mythologies is Christianized. So therefore, how accurate are they? We can only go off the info we've got, but we don't fully know, oh, was this a Christian just rewriting something to get it to blend? Because there was a time where Christianity and Saxon, Norse, Viking era crossed over, especially in Britain. There are, and I want to go see it, look up the Gosforth Cross in Cumbria. It's a good example of it. It's an old Saxon cross that's Christian, and it's got Christian iconography on it, and then it's also got the story of Ragnarok and Loki, Odin, Fenrir, the Norse people on it too. So there was a time where it was crossed over. So I went on that ramble for a reason, because Angrboda fits into this, because she is Loki's first wife. That's the way I'd put it. We don't know if they were officially husband and wife, but she was his other half. His second wife is Sigyn, the goddess of loyalty, who he also had children with. Yes, he had children with Angrboda. But that's separate, So Loki is a Jotun, and so is Angrboda. Now, a Jotun is basically the Norse Germanic name for giant. It's a titan, as they would say in Hellenic myth. And the Jotun or Jotun are the older gods, essentially. They are giants, frost giants, sometimes they're called as well. And Angrboda was one of them. Now, in my practice, when I was more working with Loki before we fell out, Hecate has always been in my life, and she was there then. So was Lilith. And I noticed Lilith and Loki really, really, really got along, which I thought, oh, okay. And Hecate and Loki tolerated each other, it was more on Hecate's side. She gets along with everyone anyways, but I used to think to myself, and I didn't understand in the way I do now, but I used to think, why is she getting along so much with this impish trickster, But there's reasons for it, which we're going to dissect. So the first reason, so I've explained a bit about, it's turned into the Loki show, of course, it always does. when he's involved, that's the way Loki is. I can feel him around. Yep, it's the Loki show. So, Angrboda is his first wife, first partner. And even back then, like I say, I thought, why do they get along so much? Well, Angrboda is also so serious the way Hecate is. She's a Jotun. She is a powerful chieftainess in her own right. And she's quite mysterious, you could say. There's not too much known about her. Sounds very familiar, does it not? Because Hecate, in her Hellenic guise, is a titaness. So same but different, titaness. Not too much is known about her. She's got a few myths, but she's pretty mysterious, pretty powerful. Even Zeus was scared of her. Sounding familiar. Now, when it comes to Hecate, she's normally a virginal goddess. Virgin doesn't mean virgin in the way we think. It normally just means unmarried and no kids. But in one of the myths, it is said that she and Hermes get together. Now, Hermes is the trickster of the Hellenic pantheon. He's very complex too. And I don't want to turn it into the Hermes show as well, but he is said to fulfill many roles, including that of trickster. So he and Hecate, in some of the later myths, are said to be partners romantically, just like Angrboda and Loki, the serious lady with the trickster dude. So that's one kind of correlation. Another is the moniker Mother of Monsters. Angrboda is called the Mother of Monsters because her and Loki had 3 children together: Jormungandr, Fenrir and Hel. All 3 of them were exiled because Odin was afraid of Ragnarok happening, because in the prophecy it was said that these 3 would help Loki bring about Ragnarok, the end of the world. So they were outcast. Jormungandr was thrown into the sea. He's the world serpent. He is said to circle Midgard, which is Earth. Fenrir was bound and chained. He's a giant wolf. I'm sure he bit off Tyr's hand as well, because he was tricked. And then poor Hel, who I have worked with as well. She is the goddess of Helheim, the underworld. With Norse myth, the concept of the afterlife, basically all the gods are psychopomps. And there are different halls you can go to: Valhalla, Folkvanga, Fensalia, many others. Each god has their hall, but your general populace kind of went to Helheim. And there is I forgot the name of it, but there is a kind of Tartarus-y place there. It's just like Hades. In the Greek myth, the realm Hades, there's different realms within Hades. Elysian Fields, Tartarus, all the other places. So anyways, what I am saying there is not about the underworld, it is about the Mother of Monsters. And I hate to say, but those 3 are said to be monsters in that context. I don't like saying that because I feel it's disrespectful. But that's the mythology. Hecate doesn't normally have children in that regard, that she gave birth to herself. But she is known as a mother in all senses of the word, apart from giving birth herself, I suppose. And notably, she takes under her wing the misfits, the outcasts, the lost souls. She does that to us lot as well. I'm one of them. But in the mythologies, she does it to those who didn't have a place to fit in, to monsters. Notably, Scylla, the sea monster, is said to be a child of Hecate. The Empusa, a shape-shifting monster, is said to be a child of Hecate. And the Lamia, a more vampiric, snake-like monster lady, or sometimes multiple ladies, is said to be a daughter of Hecate. So that's another correlation between these 2 goddesses. Now, both of these 2 goddesses are also said to be witches in their own way. We know all about Hecate, goddess of sorcery, the liminal space, all these other things. And the witch goddess. Angrboda is said to be another figure called Gulveig. Gulveig, it's a story about a witch. Sometimes it's said to be Freya, and sometimes Angrboda, and it's a young maiden who is burned at the stake. It's like one of the first witch trials, in a way. And so Angrboda is linked with that mystery of witchcraft. With this being the case, all those correlations that I've pointed out in the mythologies, regardless of whatever deity you're working with, worshipping, etc., I do take the mythologies with a pinch of salt, because do we believe these things literally happened? Maybe not in that way, but there are so many links between them for an eerily, spookily reason, isn't it? Because it just goes to show it's just a different culture's take on that same energy. Their energy at their core is powerful, dark goddess, mysterious, a warrior when needs be, a mother, their energy is so similar. And that in what I have learned through my journey, I do feel they're one and the same, but it's a different culture. It's a different culture explaining that energy. And so Hecate wanted me to do this series, like I said at the beginning, and that's their comparison. What I will say is that Hecate showed me things on my personal journey, which I've spoke about on the channel, but I feel it right to end the episode of this new series with this. The divine feminine, in general, dark and light, they are all connected ultimately, because they are all our nurturers, our creators. Whether that's Hecate, Angrboda, whether it's Aphrodite, whether that's Mary even. And I know that's a different kettle of fish to go down for another day. But all these figures are linked. They are mother, they are protector, they are teacher, they are lover sometimes, but they are there for us and to help us, and that's what they're doing. So ultimately, they are all one. Hecate showed me this as a dragon, which I've spoke about on the channel, but you can think of it however you want to think of it. What I am saying though is that there are these links, and we're going to be delving into more links because there are other goddesses, many other, that she is linked to, like this. But Angrboda went first because I just felt like that was right. I don't know why, just felt it. Okay, if there's anything you want to ask away. Anything you're interested in, let me know. Until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.